This problem asks me, what is the measure of arc in M? Okay, this is a little bit more involved, a couple more steps. First thing I have to recognize is one of my main theorems of inscribed angles. Okay, and it's this one right here. If two inscribed angles intercept the same arc, they're congruent. What do I mean for this picture? I'm saying we have angle NPM, or we could just call it angle P. And then we also have angle NOM, which we could just call angle O. And both of those angles both go through the endpoints of arc NM, which means they both intercept the same arc. So they are therefore congruent. That's what the theorem says. If they intercept the same arc, they're congruent because they're both going to be half of that arc they intercept. So I can go ahead and write an equation that says 3x plus 1 has to be equal then to 5x minus 37. And I could solve that equation. And let me just point out, at this point, you may not see how that's going to get us our answer, and that's okay. A lot of times in math problems, when you start the problem, excuse the bell, sorry, the mini bells, there we go. You may not be able to see your way to the end of the problem at the very beginning, and it's okay, you can still start. You still should start. Just because you're like, I don't know how to find that angle, or I don't know how to find that arc, you should stop and say, okay, then what do I know how to find? And this is something I did know. I don't know how to find that arc yet, but I do know these two angles are congruent. So I can set their measures equal to each other and say, all right, well, x is 19. Again, that doesn't get me the arc, but what does it get me? That's always what you should be asking yourself is, what could I figure out from this? Because a lot of times it sort of starts a domino effect where you're figuring out, oh, wait, now I can see this angle now, or oh, now that shows me what this arc is. In this case, if I have x, I can figure out either of these angles. I'm going to go ahead and plug in right there and say 3 times 19 plus 1. 3 times 19 is 57, plus 1 is 58. So both of those angles measure 58 degrees. And since they intercept the arc we're looking for, remember the angle is always going to be half the arc. This rule right there. So half of what is 58? Another way of asking that is, what do I get when I do 58 times 2? 58 times 2 gives me 1/16. So 58 is half of 1/16. And that's my answer. And I'm having trouble stopping my video.